It is 9:01 a.m. I know, I'm not as fast as Hassan was. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. Wednesday, the 7th of August, AD 2024. What will we cover today? Hopefully some fun stuff. I've mentioned some people and things that I wanted to touch on. And there is some new stuff that I wanted to cover as well. I had a great call with Alex from California, or it was very interesting anyway. Shout out to Alex from California. It was a great call on his part, especially. Talking about this forgiveness stuff, and the attack on Christians, and it's a mess. And you guys sitting back in your forgiveness, and you're going to get yourselves stabbed. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. I think you're going to get stabbed either way. Sorry, kids and ladies. But anyway, I wanted to share an interesting video that sort of reminded me of his call. And I might talk a little bit about something else that I saw on BitChute. They're scaremongering about Project 2025. I don't know if I've shown you guys recently that the federal government is overwhelmingly anti-conservative. It's liberals. A bunch of liberals, Democrats, and then there's some so-called Republicans, but they're rhinos. They're not pro-Trump people. And they're in the executive branch. So I'm like, oh, this Project 2025 stuff, they want to fill it with Trump loyalists or whatever. Like, that's a bad thing. If Trump wins, then he should get the executive branch on his side, not against him. You know what I mean? I mentioned before earlier this week, and I never got to it, Meghan Markle, and then that Army officer Miss USA one. So I would like to get to those two, and your calls, guys, if you'd like to call in. Some of you already on hold. I owe it to get to you guys as well. But anyway, everybody, let's just get right on with the show.
One, two, three, four. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. Just wearing a normal shirt today. It's not fancy. It's kind of ratty, actually. Sort of a ratty shirt. Is that okay with you guys? I forget which of these is the one to do. You know what, guys? I would like to get right to a call here, or two, before I get into my stuff. William in California is on the line here. William, how you doing, man? Are you there?
Doing okay, man. How's it going?
Going well.
Nice shirt.
Oh, thank you. That's kind. Yeah, it's an Oakley shirt. I got it at a Longo Toyota dealership years ago.
Yeah, I like the colors.
Me too. Appreciate that.
Yeah, a little bit better than the one you had on yesterday.
Oh, really? Yeah, the one I had on yesterday was sort of a plaid collared shirt, short sleeve.
I've seen it.
Nice.
It seemed like you robbed Tony Dow's closet.
Tony who?
Tony Dow.
Tony Dow. Okay. Is that a Men's History Month hero?
That's Wally from the Bees.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna wear a button-up. You're gonna wear a button-up shirt, James. At least make it long sleeve. You're on TV.
Oh, but I like short sleeve shirts. They're more comfortable.
Yuck.
You're not a fan of button-up shirts that are short sleeve? Those are the only ones I like.
They got to be long sleeve with a watch.
Making me blush.
But it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Before we get into the current events, I wanted to, because I missed you a couple of days, I wanted to talk about the situation with the pit bulls, and I totally agree with David Nokala about the breed is pretty abrasive.
a pit bull breeds are pretty abrasive. You're
Yes.
saying?
Yes, they are.
Should they be banned?
And, well, I mean, I don't know about that. I definitely don't like walking by a pit bull that has a woman as its owner.
Yeah, I understand
the dog
that.
is actually stronger than the woman. You
Yeah.
know? My brother and I had a situation 2 years ago, maybe less than 2 years ago, with a tenant in San Francisco.
Speak up a bit louder for me, man. I want to make sure that
Coming in
it's
muffled?
coming in clearly.
How about that?
I think that's better. Go ahead.
Yeah, my brother and I had an issue at one of our buildings with that situation.
Pit bulls?
And yeah, a lady had one that, kind of chewed up the back door, the bottom of the door. So the dog was not behaved well and everything. And that's the reason that me and him decided to go to property management to deal with that kind of stuff, because there was a dog, 2 dogs that attacked a woman in the same neighborhood that we have our property that was killed by these big, some kind of breed.
Dog on dog crime.
Yeah.
But it comes down to the owners, really. We have a low quality people. And we have a culture that's like worshiping dogs right now because they're not having children. Is part of it, I think. It's a mess.
Yeah. Well, there was what kind of dog? It was what's that? Pace scenario or something. They're huge.
Oh, yeah, I'm not familiar.
The apartments in San Francisco, people in the Bay Area know this, they're not strip apartments. A lot like Los Angeles has a lot of strip apartments with the parking lot in the middle or whatever. The apartment situation.
Oh, kind of like motels. They look like motels.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. The ones in San Francisco are more like New York.
Townhouses or something?
Well, they're going to be older buildings and have a common area with like a lobby, nice lobby to walk in after you walk into the major door, the primary door. And
Nice.
You walk in and then there's a common area is what I'm trying to tell you.
And you can't have dogs in that area because not everybody's dog friendly.
Well, that's the reason we went to property management to deal with the tenants, because tenants have a lot of rights. And they could screen that and keep people from coming in your building with that and put that on their lease. And one of the conditions of the lease and everything, you try not to get into discriminating, of course. But you have a common area to walk in these buildings. That means other tenants are going to have contact. And those 2 huge dogs in San Francisco in 2001, they actually killed that woman. These things were huge. They weren't pit bulls, but
they killed a woman?
Killed her. Dead.
What? Wow. What a mess.
So, I mean, that could be a nightmare for owners is what I'm trying to say. It's a liability.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a dangerous world, and then people are sue happy. They'll be happy to sue you even if your dog doesn't really do anything. But you just
yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
So
it's a mess.
You have to think about that when you have people paying you monthly to live somewhere. You actually can't just collect their money. You got to make sure their safety is intact.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah,
because otherwise you can get sued over something that somebody else's dog does or whatever.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be curtains. It really could be a bad situation for you.
I don't think that people appreciate the plebs. I don't think that the plebs really appreciate the responsibility that the rich, I'm flexing my muscles, that the rich men have to deal with.
I'm not rich, but I can.
No, I know, but I'm
tell
just talking about people who are landowners, homeowners, landlords, Elon Musk, people who own businesses, the responsibilities that they have to deal with, and some of the stuff that shouldn't even be their responsibility. And the laws are against the people who create jobs and people who are creating value in society, and it's a mess.
That's why the rich get a tax break, because the average Joe doesn't employ hundreds of people with medical plans to send their kids to college and pay their rent and their house, their mortgages and stuff. They don't. You're just an average Joe working like me, an average Joe working.
Right.
I don't get that kind of tax break.
And it's a tax break because it's a different type of money that's coming in. And I'm not for us paying all these taxes, income taxes and all that. I like Trump's thing about no tax on tips.
Well, the most important tax in the country is the corporate tax. And if you know anything, well over 50% of those people pay most of the taxes.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's crazy for them to say, oh, I had one friend of mine on my Instagram feed actually say, I paid more taxes than Trump. No, you didn't. No, you did not. He paid more taxes than you. By hook or by crook, they get their money. Oh, you can nitpick. Yeah. Oh, he didn't pay income tax or some type of tax he didn't pay. I know, but he's paying a lot. He's paying plenty in taxes, and he's doing better for society than taxes because paying taxes in taxes doesn't benefit society.
Well, they pay. I think Donald Trump pays more taxes than most people's salaries.
Yeah, I cracked. I'm growing. Thank you, William. I appreciate a little bit of clarity.
Yes. The Cori Bush was defeated.
Nice.
So the wokeness, that's the second one down.
I reported that. She's the homeless black, or she played homeless. She's a homeless rights woman, black gal. I think she was a single mother out of Massachusetts, and then she married a guy who, and she already had other kids, if I remember correctly. Yeah. She already had kids by another man, but she married another guy, and she's a preacher, if I remember correctly. Cori Bush.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's a Christian preacher, pastor woman.
Well, she was defeated. There's another one defeated. I think Bowman. He was defeated.
Jamaal Bowman. Bowman, the black guy. Who, I call him a clown because he's sort of clownish, but I kind of like that about him.
Yeah.
So they were both primary. That's a shame because those two, I kind of liked them. Yeah. I mean, they're evil. They are evil. It's good that they're primary, but for entertainment purposes, it's sad.
Woke is on its way out. And Oakland's mayor is being asked to step down. London Breed's got 17 people running against her.
Ooh, wow.
And, it seems like their attitudes, the women are, especially the black women, are not all of them, of course, have a lot of attitude right now. It's kind of strange. And I think what was wrong with White History Month last month? You were talking about that. What's going on?
Oh, just that there was nothing wrong with it. It's just that Mays was being a sourpuss, and she doesn't celebrate any holidays, but she specifically went out of her way not to call. It sounds like, based on what she told me, it sounds like she specifically did not call during White History Month, and she said it's because all we did was talk about black people all White History Month.
Well, that's not true, James.
I know, but anyways, so yeah, I mean, she's not.
You realize
it's Mays. You don't expect Mays to tell the whole truth.
I'm not worried about that. That's nothing to think about. I'm saying that's not true. We celebrated White History Month every day. We talked about the blacks' crime.
Right.
After.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah, indeed.
And by the way, Happy Men's Month.
Happy Men's History Month, indeed.
Yeah, that's going out to, let's see, man of the day, I'll say Bill Lockwood.
Right on. Bill Lockwood's a solid dude, even though our friend David and Ocala called him a false prophet based on not even hearing his voice.
Oh, come on. I like David Ocala.
I do too.
Yeah. They said something on Fox about Kamala and her running mate. It made a lot of sense. He's the guy that allowed the towns to be burned to the ground, and she's the woman that helped get them out. They're perfect for each other, and they pretty much
Tim Walz.
I kind of see why she got. I looked at the political map.
I got to keep it moving, William. It's great talking to you. But great point. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, two Black Lives Matter supporters.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, I got to keep it moving. Take care, William.
Keep it moving.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye. Let me show you guys this this gal over there, Cori Bush. What a mess. So, let's see if I can do this. Open this up. Cori Bush, poor Cori Bush. I think it was on CNN. But this is Cori Bush, the black gal. This is the one who got kicked out. Primaried. She's wearing like a pantsuit. 48 years old. A representative from Missouri. Evil woman got primaried. Good riddance to bad rubbish. It's a shame. Cori Anika Bush, American politician, nurse, pastor, and Black Lives Matter activist serving for Missouri's first congressional district since 2021, and she got primaried. And she is a single mother, if I remember right. I remember JLP got kicked off of Medium, a blogging platform, for talking about the ladies at the squad, who were just not decent people, not living decent lives. She's the first African-American woman to serve herself in the U.S. House of Representatives from Missouri. Do you guys pronounce it Missouri? She was featured in a Netflix documentary, Knock Down the House. She beat out this Clay person. Early life, graduated from something, nobody, don't care. She's just a few years older than me. Alderman, his father, then has previously been a mayor. She became pregnant at 18 in the summer of 94 after being R-worded, and she had an abortion. R-worded allegedly. Okay, this is according to the Wikipedia, which is according to what source? R-worded at 17, I chose to have an abortion, according to the failing New York Slimes. A year later, she had a second abortion at 19 years old. Was it R-worded again or no? Don't really want to know. But she's a mess. I thought that she said that she'd been homeless. Let's see, personal life, anything about personal life? We don't care about the political positions. We know she's a psycho-liberal, defund the police type of person. Oh yeah, that's right. She said that she healed a homeless woman. You may recall that. She healed a homeless woman with tumors. 2 children, been married twice. Wow. For 14 months, she and her then husband lived in their car. That's a rough life with their young children. Not that rough. It's still a fairly comfortable life here in America. After being evicted because of the loss of income after illness during her second pregnancy, made it necessary for her to quit her preschool job. And these women have set that up, you know? These women working and these greedy people having two incomes has created a need for more of a need, if you will. It's not really a need, but it's a higher toughness not to have the 2 incomes if you're a family. But it's doable to do it on 1 income. You just have to be a can-do and capable person. I've seen guys like that. I've mentioned Real Vincent James has done that. 1 income. She attributed this to harsh and racist treatment that black women face during pregnancy and childbirth. She testified to the House Oversight Committee and Reform Committee during her first pregnancy, she informed her doctor of severe pain but was ignored. Black women always get ignored. I wonder if she's a pushy gal. Don't you have to be kind of a pushy gal in order to get into Congress? Or pushy guy? She said, every day, black birthing people. What a psycho. And our babies die because doctors don't believe our pain. What an evil woman. A victim woman. And she has 2 children. Well, 4 if you count the ones that she K. 4 because of the unborn children that, she offed. Lacey Clay. Oh, okay. Terrible, huh? So good riddance to this gal. Look at her. Y'all gonna stop killing us. Mildly attractive gal. You know, mildly attractive black gal. But a mess. That's her at a George Floyd protest in July of 2020. And now the accepted narrative, according to Wikipedia and the mainstream media, the kiss up to the black victimhood media, is that Georgia, Florida was murdered May by a white cop. And that's just not a fair portrayal in my uninformed and ignorant opinion. I'm saying uninformed and ignorant because for the sake of my channel. Anyway, that's terrible, huh? Yeah. Good riddance to Cori Bush. Mildly attractive? Says Walt Whitman. Yeah, it's a mess. Anyway, let me get to Mark in Los Angeles, California, on the line here. Mark, thank you for calling and holding there, man. What's up?
Yeah, before I get started on the pit bull issue.
Oh, you're coming in a little rough. Are you on a speakerphone or something, or in a echoey room?
Hold on a minute.
That sounded better already.
How's that?
Much better, thank you.
Okay, on the pit bull issue, I hate pit bulls.
Pit bulls?
I got a neighbor over here, and he likes to walk around with his pit bull. You know, he's a big black guy, and he wants to show he's the only one of the few Negroes in the neighborhood. So he walks around, letting everybody know he's not going to be intimidated. They use the dog as protection and as a weapon. In this neighbor's case, and from what I understand, this is a problem all over the U.S. But that's not really the reason I called. First of all, shout out to Lucky Larry and Lord of the Pies for his comments and constructive criticism. He's asking me to talk about blacks all the time. Lord of the Flies. I can't do that every day, Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, talk. I don't want you obeying the chat. The chat is a snake pit. Don't even pay attention to them.
I agree.
But I like those guys. I like those guys, but it's a snake pit. It's not worth even paying much attention to.
I agree.
Yeah.
What I called though mainly about was your conversation with Alex yesterday. Alex, I believe it was from California.
Yep.
Okay, I strongly disagree with you on the approach as a Christian to the murder of little white girls in England. Not only would I have been with those men, I probably would be in jail today.
What good would that do you or them?
Because if I could have took even one of them and brought him to justice, it would have been worth jail time.
One of who?
And I'm not advocating murder. I'm not advocating anything more than just justice for these monsters that killed those beautiful little white kids.
There was only one monster, and he's already in jail. You're not going to get that guy, and you're talking about.
He's not going to face justice there.
I know, but you're not going to give justice to the 17-year-old who did that. That makes you're making zero sense.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, you're making no sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
You make no sense. What sense does it make to attack somebody who wasn't involved in that crime?
Because
that's what you would be doing.
No, I just want to send a message to the community of white haters that are living in England that you take out 3 of our little girls and we're coming for you.
I know, but that's not.
Idea.
That's a dumb idea because you're just starting a race war that you're going to lose.
How else are we going to get rid of these demons unless we have one?
You are
Not
a demon.
Advocating for race war.
You are a demon.
How else do we get rid of these devils?
You won't because the devil is in you.
No.
Yes.
I speak for white Christian
America.
No, you don't.
No, you speak you speak for Satan.
No way.
Yes, way.
Satan's on the side of the Rwandans.
Satan is on the side of Satan is on
those little white girls.
Satan is on the side. Hold on, Mark. Satan is on the side of you committing violence in anger over somebody doing something, and then you going after other people over it.
So what are you going to do? Pray about it?
Nothing. It's not. It's not
Let's
your.
Pray.
What are you doing about it? You're doing nothing but complaining and going to get yourself in trouble.
Okay, and this is what I told your screener. And this is nothing personal. I really do think you're a good person. But had you lived at the time of the Christian Crusades, when they fought Islam, they didn't pray their way out of it. They didn't try to talk their way out of it. They used violence, and they killed the Islamic forces of that in that time of the world.
You're dreaming. You're dreaming.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, hold on. You're dreaming.
Oh, well, says you.
Yeah, I do say that because you're living in a fantasy. You've never gotten in a fight that did any good.
The Christian Crusades did a lot of good.
No. I'm saying you. You've never gotten in any fight that did any good.
Well, I'm only one man.
I know, and you're one man who's lived a longer life than most of us who are listening and talking to you. Right. And you've done no fights, 0 fights that have done any good. Am I right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how to answer it. I've been in fights.
All right, and have any of those fights done any good?
Well, I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, because this is a mess.
No.
And Alex knows, but you don't seem to know, that these riots are only going to make it harder on the whites.
Well, how worse
True or false?
It get
True or false?
when they're killing No, wait. Before I answer
No. Answer it. True. No. I'm not going to answer that until you answer me. True or false? These riots are only going to make it worse on the whites.
Probably.
So then what? Then why are you saying, "Oh, how much worse can it get?" It can get a lot worse.
Okay. First of all, let me get back to what I wanted to say.
All right.
Had you lived at the time of the Crusades, and you would have used this pacifist approach of, well, let's pray our way out of this, they probably would have hung you. Those were real Christians.
You have no idea what my approach even is. You're just
pray your way out of it.
I never said pray your way out of it. You're just in your imagination about it.
Do you want to leave it up to the British authorities to bring justice to this savage? Because they're not going to do it.
How do you know?
They're not going to do it because look what they did. I compare the rioters, the white men.
And what good is it that you're going to try to get justice?
Let me finish my point. I consider them to be the same type of person, political prisoner, as the J6ers in this country. Stammer, I think that's his name,
Starmer.
the head of England, is a left-wing extremist.
I know.
He's going to keep our white brothers. And don't forget, these
so
are
you're making my
white
point.
Christian brothers.
They're not Christians.
He's going to keep. Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
You're not in their hearts or souls.
I know, but if they're blind people rioting, they're not
blind.
Christians. Yes, they are. They're blind.
Then
why are they in jail? Then why are they in jail?
Because it's a corrupt system in England.
No, because they're corrupt. They're corrupted.
They're not corrupt.
Yes, they are. If they're burning down,
I give them my moral support.
Mark, they burned down, according to reports. I don't know who did it, but somebody burned down the hotels that are housing the asylum seekers and migrants. What good did that do?
They can go back to their homeland.
That didn't work. They're not going back.
They should go back to their homeland.
No. I said, what good did that do? You're ignoring my point, my question.
Well, it's symbolic.
It's symbolic. Now they're in jail.
Well, they're martyrs to me.
That's stupid.
They're martyrs to me.
Martyrs get killed for being Christian and peaceful.
Well, they were both Christian. They're
Christian. Not Christian and they're not peaceful.
Oh yeah, you can't say they're not Christian.
I can too say they're not Christian.
So the Crusaders,
and neither are you.
Wait a minute. Okay, says you.
Yeah, because you're bringing up Crusaders like you have any idea what it was like over there.
Oh, I know my history a little bit.
I know, but you weren't there.
Were you? No, of course
no,
not.
Of course. I'm not the one bringing up the Crusaders like that justifies what's happening now.
Well, there's a similarity. Islam.
There is no similarity, man.
Oh yeah, but there is. You won't let me finish, but I'm trying to tell you that at the time of the Christian Crusades, the Muslims were taking over Europe. Real Christians, not pacifists who hide behind the Bible, but real Christians took to the streets, to the fields, and defeated this satanic Islam. You want to talk them out of it.
No, I don't. You don't have any idea what I want to do.
Well, then what do you want to do?
You're putting words in my mouth.
Tell me that. What do you want to do?
The men of that area should handle the situation.
Well, they tried, and
No,
you're
they
damning
did not.
them.
No, they didn't.
And you're damning them.
Nope.
You're not?
They're damning themselves.
No, but you're agreeing
Because
with
those
what
are not
happened.
men. Those are not men who rioted.
They have every right to react the way they did.
No, they don't.
And to tell you the truth, I would love to see white people organize, not violence, but organized protests against hotels that allow the invaders to live. There's nothing wrong with that. Their tax money is paying
Protests
for these
don't do
savages
anything.
to kill their children. And there's
Hey,
a similarity
Fed.
between.
Hey, Fed.
Pardon?
Fed. Protests don't do anything.
Well, that's your opinion.
It's a fact. Name one protest that has done anything.
Well, usually the protests that succeed come from the left.
Duh,
So
because the government is for the evil. So protests
Okay.
that are for what's right, they don't do anything.
Well, in a small way, you might say that the pro-life people who have had a yearly march that a lot of these Republican presidents gave voice to but did nothing. President Trump through his appointments to the Supreme Court, did overturn Roe v. Wade.
The
So
Roe
you
v.
might
Wade
say
overturning.
indirectly-
The Roe v. Wade overturning had nothing to do with the protests. The Roe v.
Well, I
Wade
don't think
overturning.
so.
No, it had zero to do with those protests. It was Trump who was not supported. Trump was not supported by the pro-lifers. They hated him because the pro-lifers are a bunch of women. Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
remember
true.
it. JLP interviewed it. JLP interviewed the phony pro-lifers who were a bunch of women who were like, "Oh, we need anybody but Trump. He's not good on abortion." And then
Well,
Trump,
mm-hmm.
had a guy from one of the states. One of the states had a female attorney general, and she had a male, a young man who was like a lawyer, argue the case at the Supreme Court and win this case in the Supreme Court. And we had men like Clarence Thomas and some of the other beta males who are in the Supreme Court, who are not as strong as Clarence Thomas, including Alito, and they overturned Roe v. Wade, but that did nothing to stop abortion. If
Well,
anything, it only increased it, but that had nothing to do with protests. So you
Okay,
don't have
I
any
disagree.
you don't have any example of protests
No, I
helping
just gave
the
you
case.
one. You don't want to believe it, but it's
You
an example.
you did not give any example.
I just did.
Which
the
one?
Abortion, the pro-life marches every year.
Those don't do
had
anything.
Influence on Trump. Let me finish.
They did
to
not.
allow him to appoint justices who did indeed overturn Roe v. Wade and returned it to the state.
Those appoint
Now,
no, you're wrong about that. I'll even prove it to you. The
what,
people
that they didn't return it?
Yeah, the protest.
state?
No, I'm telling you that the protests had nothing to do with that. The people who told Trump whom to appoint to the Supreme Court was some other organization, an
The
organization.
Heritage Foundation.
I don't know
The
if it was
Heritage
Heritage or what.
It was.
It was
yeah.
some establishment organization that's
Well, what do you mean by establishment?
because they're a
You
they're
mean
supposedly
Rhino?
pretty rhino, yeah. But
Well,
anyway,
I don't know.
regardless, they're an establishment organization. They're not a bunch of dumb idiot protesters who are protesting in front of a
No,
hotel.
because of the protests, Trump responded.
That has zero to
by
do with the
putting
protests.
Pro-life judges on the court.
Nope, it was not the protests. I just told
says
you it was the
you?
organization that made a deal with Trump.
Made a deal with him.
Yeah.
What, you're talking about the Heritage Foundation?
Whoever it was,
Are
yeah.
you saying that the protest had nothing to do with overturning Roe v. Wade?
Yes.
Well, that's your opinion.
You have
And
zero.
You have nothing to back it
you
up.
have nothing to back up that they did. I have
it
more.
got
I have
reversed.
more to back up. I have more to back up that it had nothing to do with the protests than you have to back up that it was the protests.
Well, I'm not saying directly, but it
Exactly.
played a role.
It had no role. It's
No,
just a
it
bunch
did.
of
It
lame,
did.
feel good. Oh, we're pro-life women,
Okay. So
and
you're
that has
gonna
nothing to
demean
do
the
with what
women.
Trump did.
You're going to demean conservative women
Yes.
who wanted to stop baby killing.
Because because
Okay,
they
well,
did
then-
nothing good. They
Well,
they wanted to stop Trump, who was the best
Maybe
president in our
maybe
lifetimes.
In the beginning, it could have been true in the beginning. Of
Yeah,
the
it
Trump
was true.
administration, but not now. Not now. The pro-lifers are all behind Trump, and you know it. J.D.
I don't
Vance
know,
is
man.
a pro-lifer.
So what?
J.D. Vance is a pro-lifer,
Trump-
and he's Trump's VP.
So what?
So what?
You're getting
saying
away
Trump
from the
is not
point.
pro-life? What point?
The point is protests don't do anything. And this
Says
rioting
you.
and this rioting thing that's gone on in England, nothing good is coming from it.
Well, we'll see.
No, we already know.
No, we don't. We'll
I
find
know
out because
you
have to remember,
might be so blind that you don't know, but I know that nothing good is coming from it.
You have to remember they have a leftist government.
I know. That's why you don't
England.
protest.
Oh, so we just stay home and pray. That's your solution?
You better.
Don't protest. Just sit home and pray
Yes.
and hope for the best.
Yep.
If the Christian Crusaders had that stupid attitude, we'd be under Islam rule right now. If they had that sissified...
No, you're the
pacifist-
sissy.
No.
Yes.
Anybody that doesn't want to take to the streets to protest, not violently, but at least
nonviolent protests do nothing, man. We already established that. You're thinking like a woman.
You did.
You are brainwashed
You
like the
established
communists.
No way. I'm anti-communist.
No, you're caught up in the same anger as the communists.
Well, you have to fight fire with fire.
No, you don't.
If you lived at the time of the Crusades, they would have either executed you or you would have had to have a change of heart.
They would never have. They would never have caught me because I'm a quiet person.
No, but you would have had to.
You're the one who rattles off at the mouth and almost gets in fights.
What about what? What are you talking about?
Over all kinds of stuff. You were bragging on the American Anchor Baby that you almost got in a fight with some black.
I just told him what happened.
I know because you get into fights. You're over aggressive.
Says you.
Yeah.
But that
like a woman. Like a woman raised black or like an Irish.
Okay. What I want to say is the people who lived at the time of the Christian Crusades were true Christians, and unfortunately,
you have no idea about that.
Issues.
You have no idea whether they were true Christians or not.
You don't. Look at history.
Wait. You don't know. Hold on, man.
Islamic invasion. Wait a minute. Did they stop the Islamic invasion?
I don't know, but you don't know that they were Christians or not.
You know they did. You just don't want to admit it.
No, but
the Christian Crusades kept Europe from becoming Islamic.
There were soldiers who were handling that business, but you have no idea whether they were true Christians, and you have no idea what I would do. You have no idea what you would do.
Well, just going by what you're saying now in regards to the Englishmen who are descendants of the Crusaders.
And you're making an assumption.
No. About what?
About me and about peace. And about sanity.
No, there's a difference between a pacifist,
right,
and a true Christian.
And you're not a true Christian, and nor are you a pacifist.
That's the second part's true. The first part is a matter of your opinion.
No, it's a fact.
Anybody that accepts Jesus as their Savior is a Christian with no strings attached.
That's fake.
Okay, says you.
Yeah, it is. Anybody can say, "Oh, I accept Jesus as my Savior." And you don't even believe what Jesus said.
How do you know?
Because he said to love your enemies, and then you scoff at that and make up a mockery of it.
No. That's a pacifist.
Did Jesus say Did Jesus say love your enemies?
Yeah, that doesn't mean to surrender to him.
I didn't say it did.
Well, but you are.
In what way am I surrendering to them?
By attacking the brave white men, Christian of England, who took it upon themselves to go after these savages.
I'm not attacking them. I'm criticizing them rightly that they did nothing good. And I'm not surrendering to them. So you're a liar.
Well, I'm not lying.
Yes, you are. You're a liar.
Left up to you.
You're a blind, brainwashed sucker.
This murdering rampage by Islam. Well, in England,
you're just gonna turn into a murderous rampager too.
No, I won't.
Yes, you will.
I'm a Christian. No, I don't
because
do those
you're justifying bringing people to justice when it has nothing to do with justice. It's just revenge.
What should happen to the savage that killed the girls?
He should get maybe the death penalty or whatever.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
But what?
So then, why were you assuming that I was for nothing happening to him?
Oh, I didn't say that, did I?
You were acting like I should appease them and be nothing.
What do you think should happen to the guy? That's all I said.
No, I know, but you were making all kinds of assumptions.
Well, look, I can tell you this for sure. I didn't have to live in the 5th century to know history and to know what the Crusades did. They stood for Christianity and they kept Europe free of that cancer called Islam. Now it's coming back, hundreds and hundreds of years later, and they're killing us. They're still killing us the way they did centuries ago.
But you don't even know. You don't even know. You don't even know the motive. Hold on, man. Hold on.
Stood up for the Christians.
You don't even know the motive of this guy, this 17-year-old who killed the people.
Oh, I wonder what it could have been. You don't think it could have been race, do you?
I have no idea. I'm not making the assumptions.
If you have no idea, then you're blind.
How am I blind? Okay, what was his motive? What was his motive?
I believe.
With no evidence.
With no evidence, yeah, but you're asking me an opinion. I believe it was racially motivated.
No, I didn't ask you your opinion. I asked what the motive was.
Well, they haven't announced it, and they probably
Then how
won't.
are you going to believe something with zero evidence?
Because I can put two and two together.
What's the two? Where's the two? Where's the two in the two?
The black man killed the white girls.
Right,
they were innocent little girls.
And that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that the motive was what you claimed it to be.
Well, I don't know. I'm not guaranteeing.
Then why are you saying that I'm blind for not knowing the motive?
For even questioning it.
I just said I don't know what it is.
Or guilt-ridden. What is it? Are you guilt-ridden or are you blind?
Did you just admit that you don't know the motive?
No, neither do you or anybody else.
Right. Then why?
Just looking at the suspect, looking at the victims, what were they, 4 and 5? What could a little 4 or 5-year-old girl do?
6, 7, and 9.
Stabbed to death?
I never suggested they deserved to be stabbed to death.
I didn't say you did. We're looking at a motive here. You keep jumping the subject.
No, because
I could tell you
just established.
If you look at who the suspect is and who the victims are, and you don't even consider race.
I didn't say
you're a blind fool.
I didn't say I'm not considering race. I just said I don't know.
Well, none of us know.
Right. Then why are you yelling at me?
Well, because you're playing liberal.
You're the one playing liberal. You're looking at the races and assuming that it's got to be about race.
I'll bet you 10-1. If the truth comes out, you'll see that I was right. But if you don't even consider race, well, no, neither do you.
You're putting words in my mouth. All I literally said was, I don't know. And then you said, oh, you're brainwashed, you're blind. And then you admitted that you don't know.
No, nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Wait a minute. I have a question. If it's
and you want to pretend that it's Muslims versus Christians, it's black versus white, and you're blind.
If it's not racially motivated, what other motive was there? I'd like you to tell me that.
I have no idea.
So then you shouldn't condemn me for saying that. If you have no idea, then you're ignorant.
You don't have any idea.
You have no right to tell me that I'm wrong.
Yes, you're ignorant.
So you got a name call.
No, you called me.
So you called me back.
Because you are ignorant. Are you ignorant or not on a motive?
Well, I wouldn't say the word ignorant. I don't know because they haven't told
If you don't know and you're making an assumption, that means you're making an ignorant assumption.
It doesn't have to be ignorant. What
yes,
if
it is ignorant.
To be true?
And you're thinking like a liberal. You're thinking like a black.
What if it's true? No. If I was thinking like them, I'd say throw those Englishmen in jail and burn the souls of the Crusaders.
Let me tell you what motivated him.
Who? The black guy?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me.
The same evil heart that motivates you.
I didn't kill anybody.
I know you didn't, but in your heart, you're evil and you're angry, just like him.
No.
Yes.
That's all talk.
That's all you are.
That's all. As far as being a Christian, you can't expect.
Are you or are you not? Are you or are you not full of hate?
No, I love my white race.
No. Are you not full of hate?
I love my white race.
No, you don't.
I love Christianity.
No, you don't.
Oh, yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
I love Christianity. I'm one of the only people that even celebrates White History Month.
That doesn't mean anything.
I would call myself, if you're asking who I am, what I am, I would say white nationalist.
I didn't ask who you are. I asked you, do you or do you not have hate? Are you or are you not full of hate?
No. The answer is no.
How about for that man who killed the kids?
I want him to be brought to justice.
Or do you hate him?
I want him to be brought to justice.
I didn't ask you if you want him brought to justice. Everybody does.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Do you hate him?
Once he's
I gotta run, Mark. Thanks for calling. What a mess. Blind people. Is Mark fat? No, he's fit. Peace in the Middle East. Let's do this. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona on the line here. Joe, how you doing, man?
Good morning, James.
Morning.
Thanks for taking the call.
Of course.
My goodness, so much to get to, but if you will allow me, I'll run down a few things from yesterday real quick.
Okay.
Number one, Malamutes are fantastic dogs. Super gentle dogs with great dispositions. They are not mean. Of course, they can be aggressive if you don't train them right.
How do you spell that?
Malamutes?
Yeah.
I think it's Malamute.
Like the Alaskan Malamute?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
sure.
So they look sort of like huskies and stuff.
Yeah, I've rescued a lot of those too. So, fantastic dog breed. I don't have much experience with pit bulls, but so I can't speak to that.
Who was talking about the Malamutes? Was that my first caller?
I believe so.
Oh yeah. Okay. And is he the one who said that the woman was killed by them, or was it a woman killed by pits?
Yes, he was talking about the pits, but he said that the pit was fighting with a Malamute and that it was really aggressive and mean. Malamutes are super gentle dogs usually.
Interesting.
And I gotta stop letting you trigger me over Obama, because yes, James, you're right. The Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor Statistics, they do not count people in the unemployment numbers who are not actively looking for jobs. There's three categories.
Yep.
Retirees, students, and for some reason, people who are taking care of elderly or sick family members. Those are the three categories that they don't count in the unemployment numbers.
Interesting.
But James, that has been the case since the 1940s.
No, hold on.
No, it is.
No. People who stopped looking for work. There were so many people. Wait. There was something unusual about the situation. I think that it was that there were so many people who quit looking for work that it looked like the unemployment was going down, but it was just that there were so many people under the Obama administration who quit looking for work. It's not as if he created jobs, which the presidents don't do anyway.
We agree on that. But, James, you can look on the website. That's been the formula since the 1940s. Nothing to do with Obama.
I know, but under Obama, there were so many people who quit looking for work.
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure there was, because he was extending unemployment benefits.
Well, sure, we were in a deep recession.
Like crazy.
But the formula has been unchanged since the 1940s.
I don't know about that. Whether it is or not, it's irrelevant, because under Obama, it was the economy was not good under Obama. He did not help it. I think if it was thriving at any point during the Obama administration or whatever, it was in spite of him, not thanks to him.
I would disagree. 60-plus months of expansion of positive net growth is good coming out of a horrible. I mean, again,
that has, like I said, that's thanks to the people who were enterprising and doing good work, not thanks to Obama.
Well, George Bush handed him an economy losing 400,000 jobs every month.
I remember all Obama did was blame Bush that whole time, and now you're gaslighting us, pretending like it was good by citing a bunch of numbers that mean nothing to normal people.
8 years later, Obama handed Trump an economy adding 300,000 jobs per month.
He was not, but that was not his economy. That was in spite of him.
All right, we're not going to agree on that.
We're not going to agree because you're wrong. You want to pretend like Obama was this good president, and he wasn't.
No, the numbers disagree with you, Jay.
No, the numbers agree with me. When you talk about the numbers, we're not talking about your pet little numbers that make you justify liking the black president. Because you have to like Obama because he was black, and that's why you voted for him twice. Black and well-spoken and lame and intellectual.
He did a great job.
He did not do a great job at all. He was very destructive.
75% while all cutting taxes is darn near a miracle.
No, he did nothing close to any miracles in the economy or anywhere else. He was a socialist and a divider and a liar and an evil person.
Okay. Well, you're welcome to your
No,
opinion.
it's a fact. He was a socialist, yes. He was a divider, yes. Black Lives Matter, anybody? And he was a liar. in many ways. All he did was lie.
Okay, James, I'm not going to get triggered by your Obama bashing. That's fine.
Yeah, don't be triggered by the truth.
Okay. You saw that the Fed did not lower their overnight rate, correct, this week?
I don't pay attention to it, but I think I reported about the Fed not lowering interest rates and Elon Musk yelling at them about it.
And you saw the stock market drop over 1,000 points on Monday, yeah, because of that?
I read about that. I don't comprehend those things, but yes.
This is why I keep talking to you about the haves and have-nots. I mean, the hands of approximately 12 to 14 people, James, can have that effect. Now, there's another meeting next month in September, and they could be dropping the rate then. And if they do, that happens, watch, mark my words, the markets will boom again. So it's total manipulation in the hands of very few people, the very definition of the haves. So keep an eye out next month.
But I'm with you. We should get rid of the Fed or whatever, or end the Fed or audit the Fed or anything like that.
Audit the Fed would be great. I don't know about ending it. I don't know what you'd replace it with.
So then you're resigned to leaving it in the hands of these 14 people or whoever.
No, I wouldn't say that. Again, I'm fine with auditing it and changing the system, but I need to know what we're changing to before I jump on board with that.
That's why we need a man like Trump in charge who's like a sensible man and capable and who's for people thriving, not like Obama. We need to raise the rates of electricity so that people hurt so that we can do this communist Green New Deal type stuff. Obama and his ilk. Manipulating the economy and manipulating how people live their lives and how they work and get their energy.
Well,
Globalist socialism.
With your idiot co-host you just talked to. You know, Alex's call yesterday, being emotional and upset about that terrible, terrible happening over there in London.
Uh-huh.
But it's interesting how I'm sure you guys don't know about Maxwell Anderson in Wisconsin, do you?
Maxwell Anderson in Wisconsin?
Yeah, terrible, terrible thug. You know, this time a white man killing a young black woman.
You love your stories about the white on black crime. You can cherry pick them all day, and yet you don't. And yet you don't like Colin Flaherty, who talked about black on white crime, which is, you even admit yourself, out of control. What a mess.
The tiny folks.
Let's hear about
thugs that do that.
Yeah, tiny percentage, but it's like 10, 11 times as much as the white on black crime. But you're going to cherry pick the white on black crime. Let's hear your little white on black crime story. Maxwell Anderson.
Pulled it up there. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sure you pulled it up there, didn't you?
I don't have it for the people to look at yet, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, my whole point is that representation matters, James. What stories are you looking at?
What?
A story over in London was horrible and terrible, and I do hope that terrible young man who did that, then call him a man, call him an animal, faces all the legal consequences for it. I don't know what the British system is. I don't know if they have the death penalty, but they do. You should get it. It's terrible. Killing small children is awful, regardless of skin color. The same way this Maxwell Anderson guy should get the death penalty if that's the law there in Wisconsin. I don't know.
So what's the story of Maxwell Anderson?
Well, he killed a young black woman student and chopped her up into small pieces. I mean, just truly sick stuff, James.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like it.
But you see, you don't even know about it because those stories aren't highlighted.
Are you pretending that the liberal media is hiding white on black crime?
James, you say I cherry pick examples. Every example I've called in about, you've had no clue about.
Are you no? Are you not true?
Times.
Not true. Are you saying that are you pretending that the mainstream media is hiding white on black crime?
Hiding? I wouldn't say hiding. I would say not highlighting. Especially, I mean, Fox News almost every night run some
No,
kind
no,
of
no,
black
no, no.
drug
We're not
story.
talking about Fox News. We're talking about the mainstream media. You can call Fox News mainstream media or whatever, but are you pretending that it sounds like you're admitting that white on black crime is not hidden at all? They love highlighting when especially when a white cop has to kill a black. So they love pretending that whites are racist against blacks.
We can agree that they know that's going to be
And you well know
very
that
emotional. Can I finish, James? That's going to be very emotional and cause a lot of controversy. So we can agree that white cops killing black people will absolutely be highlighted on the news. But these everyday...
in order to pretend and they'll pretend like the whites are racist when there's zero evidence.
There's some of that too. We can agree on that.
And
I don't
black
know if we agree on the extent.
And let's move forward. Black on white crime is way out of proportion to white on black crime. True or false? How are you having to say What?
It takes context. Takes context, because if you're worried about white crime...
No. Listen to this.
Over 80%.
I said, no. Hold on. That's not... You're dodging my question. White on black...
I already agreed with you.
No. You said, black on white crime is way out of proportion, way more common than white on black crime.
I'd have to say yes, statistically speaking. But if you're worried about
why
white
are you
crime,
having to say, I'd have to say yes, statistically speaking? Why can't you just give a clear yes?
Because the stats clearly show that. Absolutely.
No. Why can't you just say yes? Then.
Because I'm a factual person, James.
Then why didn't you just say yes?
I did say yes. Just
no, you didn't. You're
you're
like hemming and hawing. Oh, the statistics show.
Okay.
You're downplaying it.
I'm not downplaying anything.
Yes, you are.
Clearly, the stats show that, and I agreed with you. They don't downplay anything.
Yeah, huh?
And over 80% of crimes, violent crimes or otherwise, are committed by white people on other white people. If you're worried about white crime, worry about white people, not the small amount of black thugs that do it.
I know, but we're talking about interracial crime. You brought up this one little case in which a white man did a black woman wrong.
Now who's discounting
it? because it is small compared to the overwhelming black on white crime.
And the $1 billion a year on the Hells Angels, that's per year, not in the whole lifetime.
Okay, that's what I thought it might have been.
Year.
I thought it might have been the Hells Angels getting $1 billion a year. And did you ever find out that? The cartels get way more than that?
I did not.
And did you ever find out how much the black drug dealers get?
No, give me a few days on that. I'll call in. I won't learn from that.
Interesting. So you're a mess. You're all into the race thing.
No, just bring in context.
No, you aren't giving any context. You're not changing any narratives.
Oh, I am.
No, you're
a
deceiver. You're a pretender.
Well, you're in full accusatory mode today. I was surprised at how well you handled him today. I have to give you props for that. You called him a communist. You called him a liar. Well done.
Well, you're a communist and liar too. So you're not any better. You think you're better than Himmler? Then
that's a given. That's a given with you. That's fine.
It's a given that you're a communist and liar because you lie and you support Obama the communist and you.
It's a given that you would call me those names. In fact, I find it very, very funny, so I actually enjoy it. So please go right ahead.
What a mess.
Yep. So
all right.
That was all I had.
What's that?
So I think that was all I had. So you have a great day, and we'll talk again.
All right, Joe in Phoenix, Arizona. Adios.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. We're at the top of the hour, guys. Before I get back to calls, I have some super chats to read over on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. Carver bought that non-pithy coffee. Hey, Hake. I wanted to respond to Maze's very bright. Let me see if I can show this, actually. I know, this is going to be a mess. We're showing this guy. This guy is the person who did this thing, according to Joe in Phoenix. Piece of work, allegedly. Maybe convictedly. I think he pleaded guilty. But buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. Carver bought me this coffee, and it's way down here. Pardon me, guys. Carver writes, Hey, Hake, I need to respond to Maze's very bright, let's see if I can zoom in on it, very bright call about Trump and Hannibal. Remember that call? Maze, my favorite caller, supposedly, from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. We can come up with two reasonable general explanations for this. The first, as Maze and CNN propose, is that Trump has at some point developed an obsession with Hannibal Lecter. And this obsession has grown so strong that he is no longer able to resist the urge to keep it to himself. And it has begun spilling out into his rally speeches. Even though he is getting criticism for it, he just can't help himself. So says Carver about CNN and Maze's interpretation of Trump. The other explanation is that he made a Hannibal joke at one rally. It got a positive reaction from the crowd, and he or his speech writing team decided to use it again at following rallies to elicit repeated positive reactions. Because Trump is from the 80s. And the 80s and maybe 90s is when those Hannibal movies, including Silence of the Lambs and Red Dragon and some other movie, maybe it was called Hannibal itself, were big movies. And I guess he was in a mental asylum and it would scare people and stuff like that. Now, I don't want to totally dismiss the obsession argument because they are mutually possible, says Carver. Although we can't read Trump's mind, but given what we know, this is how all speeches, rallies, and similar events work and have always worked. It is the absolute most standard, normal operating procedure, A/B testing. You try one thing, how'd that work? You try another thing, that worked better. Or that didn't work as well, and you go back to A. How likely is it that the secret and unprovable Hannibal obsession actually exists? It could, but until we find a closet full of Anthony Hopkins autographed movie memorabilia in Trump Tower, I think it a little unfair to assume this is happening at the same time the obvious standard of use the lines that get good reaction speech procedure is happening. Interesting, Carver, with your non-pithy coffee. I didn't even understand her point about it. Very interesting. And what the other gal, somebody else explains to me down here, the key. If I may add the proper context to Trump's reference to Hannibal. Yeah, I know, because Maze gives you like a buzzword with no context. And he's like, you look it up. I'm like, no, I don't want to look it up. So the key bought me this coffee yesterday. Trump's reference to Hannibal. He said countries are releasing their mentally ill population into our country illegally. And she says it's true. Or he. I'm not going to dox gender. He or she says it's true. I'm profiling based on the writing. The key. Thank you, the key. Criminals, rapists, murderers, drug gang members, cartels, spies, and terrorists all crossing the southern border. So says the key. And I have not independently confirmed. But we have heard stories of gang members and other people without any vetting and without any deportation. So he says it's like Hannibal. You're getting Hannibal coming across the border. Is that what's going on, the key? Thank you, the key, and thank you, Carver. Some clear thinking coffee buyers on the Hake report. Hake gets his education from the live chat, the Snake Pit, and also from the coffees. Right on. And I had already read Terry's coffee about the dog racism. B-word, boy. That doesn't sound right. Barf, arf, bay, boy. Arf, arf. So said Hillary Clinton. Hey, wait, I don't know if I can say this word, barf, boy. Aren't you? Don't read this, British kids. Don't read this, British kids. Hey, hakey, wakey, something key, woo. I'm English, and I'm here to tell you that you can keep Adele. We don't want her anymore. Sorry you're stuck with her now. Shrugging white Englishman emoji. I didn't know you were English. Right on. You can't say that third word that you called me, can you? To me, it doesn't sound like anything bad, but it sounds like something that's bad in English. Non-American English. And English. Thank you, Barf Boy. So we get to keep Adele, but she's not fat anymore. I preferred her, not that I liked her or anything like that, other than her singing and songs, right? Yeah, she's a liberal. We'll trade you. No, but we don't want Adele. She lost all that weight, and it looks unnatural to me. I don't even recognize her anymore. Thank you, Barf Boy. Ralph bought 3 coffees. Shout out to your callers. Hake, appreciate it. Yes, shout out to the callers. Mark in Los Angeles. Alex in California. Joe the Snake. What would Hake's show be without these people? Nice. Thank you, guys. Amazing Asia bought a couple of coffees. Hey, Hake, we're having a barbecue August 31st in the Bronx and would love to have you. This is your official invite to the cookout. Hope to see you there. Oh, I got an invite to the cookout. Isn't that a meme? Hake got invited to the barbecue. Nice, Amazing Asia. That's cool. August 31st. That's coming up soon. It's the 7th. She says, I'm super interested in you dressing up as a rapper, baller type black for Halloween. Indeed, I did. Is it because those blacks are scary? Or do you secretly want to be a black? Do you have a picture? If so, please post it. Thank you. Laughing face with tears coming out. Amazing Asia, I did dress up as black for one Halloween. Full on black. I put like India ink or China ink on my face and my hands. I wore like I think long black socks so that my legs looked black, and I wore like those reflective circle sunglasses on my over my eyes, and I had like a do-rag thing, like tights. I put tights on my head, black tights on my head, and I had a big yellow jacket, and I had like a jersey. I think it was a jersey or something. And I had FUBU shorts, for us, by us. It's black. And I had like basketball shoes or something. That's problematic as HE double toothpicks, Hake SMH. That's your dirty mind. Ms. Chat Snake Et. That's your dirty mind. And I wore it when I was, it was like 06, 05, something like that. At a Halloween party with my friends. And they didn't recognize me, by the way. Some of my friends were like shunning me a little bit because I was joking around with them a little bit without saying anything. And then my friend, close friend, by the way, oh my gosh, James. And then another friend, these are Mexican friends, like, who invited the N-word? Whoa. So that's where I learned the N-word. No, it was a costume. It was kind of funny. I was going to try to be Asian, but I couldn't be Asian. I was looking for like tape to turn my eyes Asian a little bit, to stretch them out. I was a cholo a couple of times, a couple of different times. A Mexican soccer player once. But anyway, no, I wasn't thinking it was scary. I don't like that style. Although baggy pants and baggy clothes were in when I was in my when I was in school with the Mexicans in, junior high school, the baggy clothes. But other than that, no, I don't even like that look that much. I just thought it'd be funny. I did check out the place. I was in my normal clothes, checked out the place, because I kind of knew that it was a little edgy to be black. But then my liberal friend, my liberal, slightly older, a few years older teacher, author friend, is like, James wore blackface, and he's a substitute teacher. I was a substitute teacher at the time. And blackface? Oh, yeah, I guess it's called blackface, huh? I wasn't thinking anything. I didn't even know it was called that. But they want to turn everything crazy. They want to pounce on whites who dress up black. It's just funny. It's funny, it's fun, it's no harm. Hake, you are wild. Hake went through an identity crisis. It was just, it's all in good fun. You'd be something that's totally out of character. It's funny. Oh my goodness. I'm just chuckling at the different things that I did. And it's slightly edgy. It's kind of like performance art too. It's amusing. See how people react and just whatever. Anyway, I don't do that stuff anymore. We're adults. But it was fun at the time. No harm done. Oh, thank you, Amazing Asia. I think that's that for that. Okay, Popcorn's Thump Keg with another super chat, and then I'll get back to calls. Hang tight, callers. Appreciate you guys. Popcorn's Thump Keg bought a coffee. When people use the term DEI or affirmative action hire, it's the insinuation that the person doesn't meet the qualifications. Oh, is the insinuation that the person doesn't meet the qualifications for the job? What benefit does labeling someone as DEI or AA, affirmative action, add to the conversation? Well, it gives you context that there is suspicion that we have these lower and lowered and lowered and lowered standards in order to allow people in. And I know that technically, Popcorn's Thump Keg, they're supposed to meet the standard, and then they just, if they tie with a white, they get the tie goes to the black, or tie goes to the woman, or tie goes to the non-Asian or non-white, the Hispanic or the Muslim or whatever, or the American Indian. But we all know that that's not how it works out. So it is to insinuate that the person does not meet a high standard. Maybe they meet the qualifications, quote unquote, but we know, I've heard even stories about this. There's a female who was in charge of the Secret Service, and according to reports I saw on Fox News. Okay, I do every now and then I might catch a glimpse of Fox News, okay? But I saw on, there was an interview on Jesse Waters' show a day or two ago, that it was a female Secret Service security woman, female in charge, and it was somebody that the Trump campaign didn't trust. They had had problems with her already, and she was incompetent, inattentive, and she botched it. That might be a DEI or affirmative action hire or position. So anyway, Clarence Thomas was by all accounts, all accounts. I don't know if that's all accounts, but a lot of people say it. We'll put many. By many accounts, a product of affirmative action. But I know you don't question his ability to do the job. That's right. And nor should anybody, because it's well known that Clarence Thomas, I don't know if it's well known, but Cernovich has pointed out, Mike Cernovich, who knows lawyer stuff, Clarence Thomas gets the wonkier. By wonky, I mean complicated, stuff that you have to understand, complicated cases. He gets those cases. You know, these different justices get different cases that they deal with individually. So Clarence Thomas, I say he may have been a product of affirmative action. I don't know. I think that he was at one point. His grandpa said that he was an educated fool because he was a liberal. Did you know that? He was a dumb black radical at one point. And his grandpa called him an educated fool. Wow. But Clarence Thomas snapped out of it and woke up. And he's doing a great job. Seems more like a dog. Seems like more of a dog whistle than anything else. The problem is the dogs aren't the only ones that can hear it. And by dog whistle, he's suggesting that it's a racist, telling the whites, oh, this is a DEI or affirmative action hire. It's a hey whites, this is a POC, liberal, unqualified person who doesn't belong here and is non-white and it's or non-man. No, it's not a dog whistle. It is the problem is they want the dogs, they want the non-dogs to hear it. when people say DEI or affirmative action hire, they want everybody to hear it. Because we want to get through to you guys that you don't belong in there. Except in rare cases. Had they not ever done this DEI or affirmative action stuff, had they gone the way of, like Booker T. Washington, mind your own business, build up yourself economically, be valuable to society, be valuable as a worker, as a skilled man who works, then you naturally make deals. Or you can, if you want to support, this phony civil rights stuff secretly, you can secretly support making things a little bit more fair if there's anything unfair going on. But a lot of times this stuff is not about what's fair at all. It is about, like what Mark says, getting whitey. So, and taking away the power from whitey. And that's a shame. Because the white man did not really mishandle the country as badly as they're mishandling it now. And we have a kiss-up culture. When the non-kiss-up whitey is better than the kiss-up whitey. And the POC who doesn't like getting kissed up to is better than the POC who accepts all the kissing up to and embraces it and wants for more. Like that evil guy in the chat, who pretends like he's a pharaoh. Frederick, he's like, Frederick is all, we need more white guilt. No, we don't, Frederick. You're thinking like a woman. I love you, Frederick, if I love anybody. But you think like a woman. You think like Mark, Frederick. But thank you, Popcorn Stump Cake. No, it's not. There's definitely a, sometimes malice involved when you call it the DEI mayor comment. Remember that somebody said, some Twitter account, a great Twitter account said, the DEI mayor of Baltimore, this young black guy who looks like he was a assistant basketball coach who I wouldn't necessarily trust. They call him a DEI coach. Why don't I just call him the N-word? Like that's such a bad thing to say anyway. Yeah, Rika's saying more white guilt. There is an evil anger sometimes that people say this stuff with. Like, Mark from Los Angeles, he would probably say stuff like that with bitterness because he's angry and he wants to get you guys and hurt you guys in your hearts. You need Christ, Hake. What's up with Galahad X? He's a mess. But anyway, I'm looking at the chat. So yeah, there is a right and wrong way to insult, let's say. There's insults for Christ, saying DEI dismissively, or affirmative action hire dismissively for Christ. Or there's also that stuff that you think it's for Christ, but really you're just being malicious. I'm not for the malice. But I am for, guys like Mark getting it off their chest to a point. I called him a Fed today. That may have been unfair. He and Joe may or may not be Feds. Whoa. Spoiler alert says official White House transcript where Biden says Harris is a DEI hire. See the paragraph about diversity. What? Lord have mercy. Let me check this very briefly. This is from spoiler alert. Remarks by President Biden and Vice President Harris at a campaign event in Philly, PA. May 29th, 2024. Hey, not too long ago. So diversity, you're going to make me read this? Let's see. Diversity. The values of diversity, equality, and inclusion are literally, and this is not kidding, the core strengths of America. That's why I'm proud to be to have the most diverse administration in history that taps into the full talents of our country. And it starts at the top with the vice president. Okay, interesting. So he didn't use the word DEI hire, but he's pushing the DEI. Oh, diversity, DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. And it starts with at the top with the so-called vice president. What? So she is a DEI vice president. Wait, is Hake a DEI hire? I don't think that was his motive at all. I think he knew that I was on board with the message. Faithfully attending church and protests and things. JLP, when JLP hired Hake. Nice. On Memorial Day, I proudly stood with a black, capital B with the word black because they're kissing up to George Floyd. The highest order, the first black Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. And black this, black that. All this applause. Phony Joe, Crooked Joe, told you he was evil, and he's an Irish male, just like my caller, Mark. Thank you, spoiler alert, and thank you to, what's that guy's name? This man, Popcorn Stump Cake, or woman, or AI. I don't know if he was, by all accounts, a product of affirmative action, Clarence Thomas. He may or may not have been. But he's definitely earned his way, earned his keep. He's like one of the best. Let's see, can I refresh here? Okay, yeah, thank you. Sir, I got to get back to some calls, guys. My goodness, time is going through. Time is blowing by. Manuel in California on the line here. What's up, Manuel?
Not much. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Been well.
Cool. It's good to hear from you.
Stranded out on a boat for 4 hours.
You did?
Yeah, my buddy took me to the river and a boat broke down and we just had to float back.
What a mess.
Yeah, I got burnt. It was miserable.
So, wow, what a mess. I do not like getting sunburnt, if I can avoid it.
I just wanted to mention, I don't really want to get too deep into that Sonya Massey thing, but I was just going to throw my little 2 cents in on it real quick.
Okay.
The way I look at it, she kind of, well, I don't know, I'm guessing. It's like a premeditated situation with a boiling pot. Because if there was an intruder, and she has no gun or anything, she might have been prepping the boiling water to throw at the intruder.
Oh, huh. That's an odd choice for a weapon, though. Like, wouldn't you think
I
that...
know, I get that.
That's total speculation, obviously, right? Like, you don't know.
Right, complete speculation.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we don't know what's going on in people's heads, if they're crazy or sane. But if that was her only form of defense, say she doesn't have a gun or knives or whatever,
right?
It could be a premeditated thing.
Yeah.
If she plans on using that against someone of harm, then it was premeditated to be used.
Yeah.
But I don't really care,
Right.
That's got nothing to me. The way I look at it, they should send black cops to black citizens, and that'll solve that problem.
I don't think it will. But I kind of get it. I kind of get it because, JLP has encouraged white cops to just not go to these areas or don't serve those areas because you're only ever going to get in trouble, and most of the time you're just doing your job.
Yeah, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So I would just send the black cop and let the blacks deal with the blacks and let the whites deal with the whites and see how that solves the problem.
Yeah. This is the case in which in Springfield, Illinois area, at least, this Sonya Massey gal, she seemed like she might have been threatening or looking like she was going to throw hot, steaming water from a pot onto a cop, and he shot her and killed her. And now he's charged with murder, and it's a big mess. And he may or may not have handled it right. I bet, as Zenny said on the Joel Friday TV show, that he's regretting it now. but
Yeah,
it's a
I'm
mess.
sure it is. It's a mess. That's why, like, I didn't want to get too into. I don't really
Yeah,
care. It
me
got
neither.
nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
But it's just a mess, you know.
yeah,
When tensions are heightened, you know how even like John from Kentucky, like he said it plenty of times too. Anytime he interacts with a cop, he thinks it's a bad interaction. Like, so he's already premeditated in his head it's going to be bad.
right. Yep.
A lot of black people have that in their mind already. Which
Yeah.
they shouldn't. I get it, but if you quit watching the TV, you'd probably come up with your own ideas of how life really works.
Exactly. Yeah, this brainwashing of the blacks against the cops has been a great disservice to them by fear mongering and all that. It's only been evil. It's only done them harm.
Right.
Yeah.
The pit bull thing. I used to work at the. Well, I don't work at the SPCA. I had to do community service at the SPCA for one of my DUIs.
Okay.
And I was there for like 5 or 6 months, and I dealt with a lot of pit bulls there. And ever since then, I've only owned pit bulls, so I've had about 6 so far.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with any of them. Never attacked anybody. Never attacked kids. I had one that was kind of aggressive, as in it had been locked up in a pen for almost 2 years at that SPCA. And everyone was like, oh, no one can pet this dog. We need to put it down. Well, I ended up petting it, and I ended up just keeping it because they were going to kill it anyways. And one of the best dogs I've ever had. And 90% of the time when people say, like, oh, they're fighting dogs because of their ears, 90% of the time is the owners cut them when they're babies, and they just say that, you know, like, oh, yeah, I was in a fight. Or,
Oh, wow.
just makes the dog sound more, I don't know, manly, I guess, or whatever. Just
Yeah, they
want
to pretend like they're tough. That's interesting.
Right.
So
a lot of
SPCA is Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. That's what SPCA stands for. So you're dealing with
Right.
animals that were potentially had been abused or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I had to work there for my community service. There was a no-kill center, so, like, they had, like, 100-something dogs and a bunch of cats, which, whatever. It's cool. I don't believe in breeding animals. I don't think you should be breeding them at all because there's animals running all over the place. I've never bought an animal. I've always gotten an animal off the road or some way handed down from somebody else.
Wow.
But I've never had a problem with pit bulls. I understand the stigma with it because a lot of people, I feel, get pit bulls to try and hide behind that to make themselves look tough. Like, you know what I mean? Like the whole thought of, like, I'm a badass.
Right.
So they'll get a dog, they clip their ears and make it look more aggressive, and then it's all on the owner, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like people go around saying, like, well, it's the kid's fault the way that they are, when it's really the parent. So, like, the parent to the dog is really the problem. You know, if the parent's not raising the animal right, it's going to be wild.
Yeah.
Like, my sister has dogs, and, like, they are terrible. Like, they don't listen. They jump all over the place, and that's kind of how my sister is. She just doesn't pay attention to them. Sometimes forgets to feed them. So they're not, like, no order. You know, if you had an order with your animals, they wouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
Just from my little stint at my little prison of the SPCA, that's what I noticed. You know, stability and consistency gives it order.
True. Very true. That makes a lot of sense. You've heard of these people like the dog whisperer, they say.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about him, but I've heard that, you know, just a bit of authority, which most people lack, is what puts a dog in order.
Yeah, it's just like sending your kid to boot camp. You need somebody to yell at him since you won't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's like the black kids with a weak father or no father, and the mother gets the cops to go and scare the kid. What a mess.
Yeah, there's no order.
Yep. Terrible.
Then there was a black girl, college girl. I thought it was a murder, but it was a vehicle accident. An illegal alien killed a black college girl in Virginia. car accident. I thought it was a murder. I was gonna say, man, you don't hear no uprising about that. People crying about their own kind being killed, but I thought it was a murder. It was just a car crash. That's whatever. No one cares about that.
But they should. I mean, why is that such a common story? I mean, I feel like it's more common per capita among the illegals than,
Right.
and I have no statistics on it, and who knows, but I'm looking at this story that you mentioned. Previously deported illegal immigrant, meaning he's a felon if he's illegal again, known to cops, allegedly killed a Virginia college student in a nightmare car crash, reported August 4th. What a mess. And that's no good for the illegal either, because now he's like, his life is ruined and he killed somebody. Elvis Jamir Cruz Ferreira, age 18, charged with involuntary manslaughter in the death of Lauren Nicole Leonard, age 19. Wow. What a terrible story. Honduran national.
If it's a common thing, people don't care,
And he was 12. He must have been 12 when he was ordered deported 6 years ago, because he's 18 now. So he was deported as an illegal. He was like a DACA member, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, he came in during, I think, Obama, and then they were supposed to go back, and then never did, and got arrested for a couple other things.
I think he would have been. It might have been. No, it might have been under the Trump administration that he was deported. It might have been Obama. But anyway, wow.
Yeah. And then one last thing, the Hells Angels, I like Mark a lot, He's something different. He's an old-timer. You don't catch guys like that no more.
Right.
But the Hells Angels have changed. They're no longer, pure white. There was a big drug bust in Bakersfield a couple months back, maybe April.
Okay.
And it was for the Hells Angels. And they're all Mexicans that were arrested.
Really?
Yeah, they're not white like they used to be. They stopped doing that in the 90s, really, because they kind of went mainstream. They started doing toy drives and stuff like that.
Oh, I vaguely remember that. All members of Hell's Angels Bakersfield were arrested. And I don't have an accompanying. Interesting, man.
You could read the names. There's like Alvarez. And, you could be white with an Alvarez name, but
true.
I'd still suspect you're Mexican at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, Ricardo Alvarez, Armando Villaseñor, Joseph Soto Jr., Joshua Zavala, and John Seeger, 57. Seeger might be normal. Yeah. And Joshua Vaughn.
We got one white out of him.
Yeah, and a Vaughn. Joshua Vaughn, like Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, so maybe there's still no blacks. Maybe they're blacks or no blacks. I don't know.
I'll have to ask. One of the upholstery shops I hang out with, they get a lot of biker guys that come in that need their patches put on, Mongols, Hells Angels, and there's a couple other ones. And I'm surprised how big that's coming back. I didn't think biker gangs would be coming back like that, but there's quite a bit of biker gangs coming around lately.
Interesting.
They'll come in the shop and tell us stories and stuff going on, but the Hells Angels, I don't know about the blacks, but they don't really care. They get along with the Mexicans because it's drugs,
Yeah. And Mexicans are a little bit more functional than blacks. They're a little bit, right. I did not know it, but they're not as out of control violent on a individual level. I know that the cartels are nasty. They're crazy. But on an individual level, they're not typically, at least not in America yet, as violent as the blacks.
The Mexicans are a little, not to get all racial, but the Mexicans are more reliable. They won't turn their back on you as much.
Yeah.
And they're getting the drug from the source,
Okay.
Where the blacks and the whites, mainly, they have to go through someone else somewhat to get to the source.
Yeah.
So
wow.
They'll do business more with Mexicans. This is what I just, what I get from them when I talk to them, because I just like to sit down and talk to people just randomly. And that's what I've gotten out of them,
I'm not really surprised that if it's true what you're seeming to recognize, if biker gangs are coming back, and because bikes in general, motorcycles are popular, especially with all the traffic, and there's like this hunger and thirst for manliness, and there's some, you could call it fake. It is fake, but there's a manliness associated with it. And then Hell's Angels has been around since I was a kid, and it always sounded kind of cool, like the Dreadnoks, or maybe even better than the Dreadnoks, even though it was evil. And so I'm not surprised that it's coming back if it really is coming back.
Yeah.
Interesting,
my
man.
little town that I live in, not to give its name, but one of the head Hell's Angels lived over here, and he used to come down to my dad's shop all the time, and they would tell us some crazy stories,
Wow.
They're one percenters, A lot of people, well, anyone could be a one percenter in a gang, but they get like street cred on that. They'll be down the highway and they'll stop people from passing them and shit or stuff like that. Sorry, stuff like that, and it comes with that manliness, like you cannot overstep me, like I am of power, you're not.
Yeah, asserting your alpha dominance.
Right.
What a mess.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to slip one in there.
You're fine. It was inadvertent. I appreciate it, Manuel. Interesting call. Thanks for the tips.
All right. Good talking to you.
Yeah, you as well. Take care. Good guy. Solid guy. Jaime in Minnesota. Been on hold forever. Jaime, thank you for calling and holding there, man. How you doing? Are you there? Jaime, come off of mute. He's been on hold forever. Jaime going once. I'll put you on hold.
Hey, how's it going?
There he is. What's up?
Yeah, nothing.
Right on.
That Alex's call. He's
Alex yesterday
too
from
worried
California.
about. Yeah, he's too worried about what's none of his business.
I'm with you, man. A man knows when to mind his business, and this is a time to mind your business.
And
when something crazy. Okay, so
you're.
let me interrupt and set this up a little bit. Alex from California called my show, and he mentioned getting COVID 6 times. That was cool. And then he said, this stabbing, this UK stabbing, it has me spiritually angry. And it sounds like he said, I feel like I'm a crusader. I feel like I want to be a crusader, something along those lines. And he's kind of on the side of the people rioting. And you don't want to be on the side of people who are burning down. You don't want to be supporting their actions anyway. Burning down hotels that are housing migrants. That's not the way. And rioting and standing up for your country, even though, because he knows that the government's going to clamp down. And when something crazy happens, watch yourself within, and note calmness. Note that you need to be calm, and don't overreact to things. Anyway, go ahead.
I was thinking about the Crusades, and after 190 years, when the Christians first got Jerusalem, they had it for 190 years, and the Muslims got it back for 700 years.
Wow. Really?
So what good did the Crusades do, Mark?
Interesting.
No good.
I don't know if the Crusades did good or bad. It has nothing to do.
All it had to do with was getting control of Jerusalem, which there's no power in Jerusalem.
My point, but I think the point is even bigger than this, because people are going into their imaginations about the Crusades. They have no idea about the Crusades. The times are now.
Yeah.
If you want to take some lessons from history, maybe, but what's going on right now, these are not the Crusades. The Crusades were ordered by the king, right? Weren't they ordered by the king and the church and the establishment powers that be? Right now, there's nothing like a crusade. Like, we don't have our so-called Christian countries like America, England, France, Italy, whatever. All these Christian countries, Australia, Christchurch, New Zealand, all of these are run by anti-Christians. And so you're going to go on a little crusade against your own government and get the clamp down on you? That's all that's going to happen. And then other people are going to be mad that you're martyred Oh, ooh, look, the government is against the Christians. Duh, we already knew that. And so knowing that, there's a wiser way to go, and I don't know what that way is, but part of it is supporting a solid guy like Trump. Yeah, I know that he's not going to do everything that you like, Alex. Maybe he's a little weak on the race thing. Maybe he's a little weak on the woman thing and gays and stuff like that. Yeah, he let Black Lives Matter riots happen. But what is how can a president clamp down on the Black Lives Matter riots if the state and local government supports the Black Lives Matter riots? You'll notice that Black Lives Matter riots weren't out of control in Florida because the governor, DeSantis, stopped them because he and his local governments, for the most part, weren't going to stand for it. But we have a whole bunch of sanctuary states that are sanctuaries for riots. So it's a mess. I don't expect Trump to save us from that, from local. I don't expect Trump to save us from California, you know?
No.
Anyway. Yeah.
What was I going to say?
What were you going to say?
What were we talking about?
We were talking about.
Oh yeah, the rioters over there in UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only way that I could see using physical action is if it's happening right in front of you, to you, or to somebody that is your family or something.
Exactly, and that's.
But if it happened, 5 days ago, what are you mad about? It happened.
Right.
You're over here. You see it and you put a check mark in your head and say, okay, that happened, and then you move on. You're getting stuck, and you don't even know that you're stuck.
Yeah. We don't even know the motive of this guy. This is a 17-year-old. He's not. We don't know if he's thinking the Muslim thing. We don't know if he's mentally ill. We can probably safely assume he's been brainwashed to be against the whites, as practically everybody, including the whites, are. But other than that, we don't know if that's the motive or anything.
Yeah.
And we don't. And the only reason that there's Muslim gangs roving around is because the Muslims feel under attack. So you're just only starting a Hatfields and McCoys type of situation in which it's going to be endless revenge and fighting, and you're not going to come to a solution like civilized men.
And the only reason that this is happening is because the borders were left open, and they said, "Hey, everybody, come over here."
Yeah.
Imagine an alternate 2024 where there was only the people that were in that country. There'd be none of this. But that's not the world we live in.
Right. There is.
Yeah.
The reality is, these stabbings are going to happen.
Yeah.
Because in the UK, that's mostly what they get. They don't get shootings as much, but stabbings and shootings are going to happen. Maybe keep your kids out of dance schools, except for Joel Fridays, because he has, I don't know. He's strong.
Yeah, like if you live in that area, it's a dangerous area, but, wherever.
I don't know.
In California, there's some areas that are dangerous too. But
yeah, I mean, it happens in even non-dangerous areas. It's happening in nice areas, Beverly Hills. What was it, Beverly Hills or somewhere around here? I say here, I'm pointing out the nicer area, out that away. I think there was a homeless bum who stabbed a gal who was running like a jewelry shop, a little college girl. What a mess! So it's happening everywhere. Yeah. You just don't know.
If you're preoccupied being angry with something that's happening over there, you're not watching what's happening where you are.
Yeah.
And you're in danger of falling into a trap or being caught off guard.
And you know what?
So that's the main reason is why you don't need to be worrying about what's going on over there, because you're not over there.
Alex asked a great question at the beginning, and I hadn't really caught it. He said, "Why is it that explain to me how it is that that if I'm angry at this person who if I'm angry, how am I worse than this person who did this thing to these three little girls, these three little white girls? How am I worse?"
Probably because he's reliving it in his mind, causing it to happen over and over again.
When you're evil, which he showed that he's evil, right? If he's angry about it and blind about it. If you're evil, there's no telling what you'll do. And also, it's not about, like what JLP said in church, it's not about degrees of evil. If you're a little bit evil, then you're not overcoming evil with good. If you're angry at this person who did this thing, you're not going to overcome his evil with good because you're trying to overcome it with evil. And when it's a nicer evil, but supposedly on the side of what's right, which is what most of us are. We're evil, but we're on the side of what's right, supposedly. Versus people who are evil and on the side of what's evil. Evil is going to win. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're still going to end up in this. You're going to end up in the same hell, if you're not already, as the person who did that to the little girls. And then you'll end up doing it to little Muslim kids who also didn't deserve anything, but you're mad about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, those rioters did nothing to that person that did it. He was already in custody.
Yeah.
They just attacked a bunch of, innocent people of that crime.
And they got their faces kicked. Some of them, I saw some whites get their faces kicked by Muslims.
And then they it's back and forth. That's the way to do it.
It never ends.
And then the worst part is, then you miss work. Next day you're not at work because you're in jail.
Exactly. And then you're not living your life.
Yeah, you should be, yeah. Well, anyways, about that girl the black girl that was murdered by that white man.
Okay, yeah. You looked up the story?
The age?
Oh, you may be mixing up different stories, but you may not be. Are you talking about, you're talking about the white man who dismembered the black girl that mentioned by Joe from Phoenix?
Yep.
Okay.
She was 19, and the guy was 33.
Oh, wow. Terrible.
She had said that she was going on a date with him to her friends the day before.
Wow.
What kind of person goes on a date with somebody twice your age and the other skin color? Like, somebody didn't teach her right,
19 going out with a 33-year-old white man, a 19-year-old black girl with a 33-year-old white man who ends up doing that to her. And I don't know if he was on drugs to be able to do that to her, or what type of mindset he was in. But that's a good question. A lot of the times, Nick the Anchor Baby had a great conversation. My goodness, I have to end. Nick the Anchor Baby had a great conversation with, speaking of great conversations, Mark in Los Angeles about this girl who was, I think, gang R-worded by blacks and then left for dead, and she ended up dying because she was just so drunk. No, it wasn't even Mark in Los Angeles. It was another caller. Somebody called American Anchor Baby on one Friday several weeks ago and talked about this story, and he's like, she's to blame for her part in it, that she would get into that type of a situation, and she died. What a mess.
Yeah. What's the biblical question?
You'll have to ask Jesse. I gotta run, man.
Yeah. Do you suffer the consequences of your own decisions?
Oh. Do you suffer the consequences of your actions or something like that?
Yeah. Something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Oh, man. I just see right now that Alex in California is on the line and he wanted to tell a Crusaders story. I am more than 5 minutes till, so let me see. Alex in California, I'm almost breaking my rules. Let's hear you get your point out. Go ahead.
I'm gonna recant the word anger.
Okay.
I think everybody's taking my words and blowing it way out of
Sure.
proportion. I spent the last few days recording music, not sitting here thinking about the girls getting stabbed, so everybody can chill out. I'm gonna recant the word anger because I think what came out of Mark and you this morning was a little more in the line of anger. I was pretty calm and cool and collective with my call, I think.
Okay.
So I just want to make it clear that I'm not sitting here obsessing over this. Like I said, I was preoccupied with recording music. Didn't even think about it. I just felt like calling you about it.
Cool.
We got to not take people's words and just make huge stories, make mountains out of molehills. if you know what I mean.
I understand, and me talking about this topic is more than it's bigger of a point than just you. Really, it's not even about you personally. It's about the principle of whether it's justified to be angry and the forgiveness stuff. It's an interesting topic. I have more stuff to cover about it maybe tomorrow.
Right.
Nice.
And yeah, like I think that your and my conversation was definitely more chill than the fire that was going on this morning. So
Nice. Yeah, true.
That's not the neighborhood I'm coming from. Just trying to make that clear.
Yeah, that's quite clear actually. You're always quite calm.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Thank you, Alex in California. Appreciate it, man. Take care. Call me again. I think he had a Crusaders story, but he didn't. He did not have the time to tell that story. But thank you, Alex and Cali. Appreciate it. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. I cannot get to the rest of the calls. Let me check for any super chats that I may want to get to. We're all clear on buy me a coffee. I always neglect the redheaded stepchildren and the D-Live crew. Joelle Friday is coming up next. What's up, Coffee Talk with Sandra? I don't know if she's even in the chat, but she's a subscriber. Joelle Friday TV will be coming up next. American Anchor Baby is on at 4 every day now. And let's see, just double checking over here. So I didn't get to any of my stories. I did get to cover a little bit of Cori Bush. So that's cool. What do I have time for? We will be back tomorrow, guys. Let me see what's here. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Where am I? Hang on, guys. Hang on. I only have like a minute or two left to do this. Rosebud. Let's do Rosebud. Adios, America. Joelle Friday TV coming up next. This is Vroom, and I don't think that it's going to come out yet. He was recording music. Alex in California was recording music. That's interesting. He's a musician. Okay, let me play this and see. Hang on. All right, here we go, guys. Complicated business, folks. Complicated business. Which one is it? Okay. Adios, America. Joelle Friday coming up next. Let's hear. Oh, hold up. There we go. Nice. Where am I? We can hear you, Hake. You know, because everyone wants a place to go. Everyone needs a smile, you know. Filtering on the radio. Filtering on the radio. So good. I feel so white right now. Take your time. Take your time. Don't ask for more. No beauty. I know it be ignored. Vroom. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I'm late. Sorry, Joel. Press W to feel white. Yes, it is Christian. Adios, America. Joel Friday coming up next. Bye.